Hello everyone, good morning all the judges and also to the contestants and then the assistants and the camera. I'd like to pay my respect to you all firstly. And let me introduce myself. My name is Okajuo and I'm currently attending grade 9 and I'm a student from number 1 basic education high school Gilead, which is located in Southern State. And I'm going to take part in this competition to represent my township and then my state. And now I'm going to tell you about a topic which is called why the students should have good study habits. So education is the most important invention that humanity has created, and it has a very wide meaning, and it plays a big role in today's society. And it's also important in today's society, if you lack knowledge, we won't be able to live. It is not easy to survive in today's society if we lack knowledge, and that's why if we are students, we must study regularly and properly. And in order to do that, we need to have good study habits. And good study habits are actions, basically actions such as reading, taking notes, and then holding study groups with students which they perform regularly and properly in order to accomplish the task of learning. And for me, I usually try to have good study habits. I attend my classes regularly and properly, and I also do my homework when I'm back home. And I also when the teacher is teaching, I usually take notes about what I don't know. And sometimes when there's something I want to know, if I'm curious about something, I go to the teachers and ask about the thing I want to ask the questions. And not only study habits are essential for our student lives, they are also beneficial in our daily lives. Because by having good study habits, it can be also helpful in maintaining yourself in a great condition of your daily life. And that also, study habits can be also helpful in achieving good academic records and good grades. And not only in classes, usually those kind of students who have high marks in classes of school, they usually have good study habits, and they not only have good study habits, they also attend classes regularly, and they also do their homework properly, and they always keep up with their lessons. And for me, although I have never formed or organized a study group, I sometimes study with my friends when the examinations are near. And aside from these good study habits, that is also essential to keep your body, to give your body and mind a rest, because good study habits contains every kind of things, which is not only studying. And for example, our brain, even when we're studying, even if our body is still our brain and our eyes are still active. That's why we must take care of. That's why we must give ourselves a rest sometimes. Because if all we do is study and work, our eyes and brain will get exhausted, and it will not absorb anything because our brains are tired. That's why it is essential to give our bodies and mind a rest sometimes. For me, I usually, personally, I try to take a break after my studies by listening to music for a while, going for a walk or cycling, or watching television, movies and stuff. By doing all these things, we can maintain our good study habits, and not only that, at the same time, we can also have good healthy habits that can maintain our health in a great condition. And that's why, in conclusion, I would like to say that good study habits are essential for not only our health, but also for our daily lives. That's why all the students must try to have good study habits. And this is the end of my topic, and thanks for paying attention and being patient and listening to my topic. Thank you very much.
Do you like studying early in the morning or at night? Why?
Usually in the morning, our brains like a bit of refreshing. So, and I usually do my homeworks from school at night because that's the only time I'm free. But if I had to choose one, I would probably choose to study in the mornings because I think it is more refreshing for our brains.
Tell us two bad study habits students should avoid.
There are lots of bad study habits, and not all of them are really harmful to us, but we should. But the most important thing is that we should avoid the most harmful study habits. For example, like studying overnight is not actually a great thing for our body and mind because it can, if we do that daily, it can damage our bodies and minds in some ways. So that's why we should avoid studying overnight. And one more thing is that studying everything just a few days before the examinations or something like that, because if we cram our head with too many things at once, our brain will not take in anything that we try to put in at the very last minute. That's why we should also avoid cramming.
So is staying up late a good habit? Why or not?
Staying up late is not a good habit. It's not healthy for our bodies, our body. But if we wake up a bit late, it's okay to stay up late. But if we do that daily, in the long run, it can damage our bodies. So we should usually sleep early and wake up early. So I don't think it's a good habit. But staying up late sometimes, I don't think that's also a bad habit.
Good morning, honorable judges, friends, and the staff here today. I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Minda Minsan, and I am a 9th grader for Basic Education, High School number 1 to go in Yangon region. I'm very glad to participate in this activity. The topic I would like to talk about is the most entertaining TV program. I hope you all enjoy it. The most entertaining TV programs. So today is the age of knowledge, and we learn a lot of things from social medias and of course from the television. We watch a lot of televisions to entertain ourselves or either to get a lot of news. And I feel like it is the most entertaining thing in the world because entertainment is very special for us, especially we're in the technological thing and we're in the 21st century. So we have to meet a lot of tiring people and we have to go through a lot of stuff. And it is very important for us to entertain ourselves once in a while. Even if it's just for a few minutes, it is very important for us to just give ourselves time to be entertained. And maybe TV programs can keep us entertained. And today I would like to share some of the things I feel like the most entertaining TV program for me. And first of all, you might not know this TV program because it is kind of newly updated and it is called Big Bang Theory. And I would like to recommend to all people at all ages because it is very entertaining and it includes a lot of information about science. And as I'm a person who loves learning about science and who want to know about the world, the universe, the galaxy, everything about science, this is my favorite TV program. And especially when it includes a lot of, sometimes it includes a lot of bad words and some terrible languages, so I wouldn't recommend to young people, but maybe you could watch Young Sheldon, which is a version for the younger people who can watch The Big Bang Theory. And as The Big Bang Theory includes a lot about science, it is very important for us to, maybe if you like to learn more about science, you can watch this TV program too, as it includes a lot of information about science, and of course you will also learn more about people and how people try to fit in society too much, and sometimes it can harm our mental health and also our social life. And I learned a lot from this TV program, and especially I'm an extrovert, so as I love to contact and to communicate with a lot of people, and a person who loves socializing, this TV is very useful for me and has a lot of advantages for me. Because I love to contact with people, communicate with people. I learn so much from them, and they use very practical words for me. And as I like to communicate with a lot of people, the words they give me is very useful. And especially as an English learner, I learn a lot of vocabularies, and especially in science words, and I learn more about grammar and vocabularies and a lot other more things. And this TV program, I would recommend to all the people here today because I feel like you all would enjoy it as well. And as for me, I will continue watching this TV program because I love this very much. And as for the Young Sheldon I mentioned earlier, which is about a younger version of the Big Bang Theory, it will teach us a lot about how a student can ask a lot of questions to the teachers. My favorite part of the TV program of Young Sheldon is that how kids learn. Especially for me, I am learning every day, and I learned that it is okay, it is totally fine for me to learn more about people and to ask questions a lot to adults. And as for today's age, adults hate kids questioning them about the world, like maybe, Mom, what is this? What is that? What are these? What are those? And of course, some adults would say, you'll learn when you get older. But differently, when I watch The Big Bang Theory and when I watch the Young Sheldon, I learn more things, more about myself, and as well as I also learn a lot more about others and science. And I also learned that it is totally fine for us to keep questioning adults when we don't have answer. And I also learned that adults can be sometimes strict a little bit. And I believe that we should continue to watch TV programs and do a lot of stuff and be happy for the rest of our lives. So thank you for your attention, and may you all have a blessed day. May I please have my questions?
Question number 1. What TV program don't you like? Why?
Well, if I have to be completely honest, there are a lot of TV programs that I hate, but I would like to mention a TV program that I hate. I don't specifically remember the name, but it is about, it teaches the young people how to do certain things, and it is about having, it gives a lot of bad influence to kids, and they would teach us how to disrespect the elders, and it teaches a lot of bad things, and I hate that TV program a lot, and I wouldn't recommend to any of these people here today, even though I cannot recall the TV program at the moment, but it gives a lot of bad influence to the young people and also the students as well. It includes a lot of bad languages, and it teaches the students bad habits and a lot more.
Is watching movies a good way to spend your free time? Why or why not?
As I mentioned earlier, it is very important for us to take recreation and to take a nap or to just rest for a while. And maybe watching movies would be suitable for some people. Of course, different people have different likes and dislikes. So of course, if you like to watch movies, just do it because entertainment doesn't specify people. If you want to do this specific thing, just do it, because as long as it doesn't harm others and it doesn't harm you. And of course, watching movie is a good way to spend your free time as well, because you're learning a lot from the characters in the movies as well. If it's a movie about science, you will learn more about science. You will get not only pleasure and entertainment, but also wisdom and knowledge. You will learn more about people, and this is how I also learned the English language. I learned through movies, and my brothers as well. So of course, watching movie is a good way to spend your free time.
So which advice would you like to give to the students who watch TV a lot?
Maybe this is the third time that I have mentioned this answer. Entertainment is very important for us, and of course different people have different likes and dislikes. So TV is a good entertainment for people. You can watch news, you can watch sci-fi movies, you can watch different kinds of movies. So it would be very suitable for people who want to learn or maybe learn a new language or just for simply for entertainment. And I would like to give the students who watch television is that before you watch television, make sure that the TV program is suitable for you or not. Sometimes they include very bad scenes that a kid shouldn't learn. So I believe that you should read the instructions or maybe if it's suitable for you or not. And another thing that is important for us that some technological things can affect us. For example, television. If you watch too much television, it can harm your eyesight and a lot more things. So you need to make sure that you're not watching a lot of TV and make sure that the TV program is suitable for you. Thank you for your attention. May you all have a blessed day. Jesus Dubai. Okay, so first ever, I'm going to greet you guys a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, all my friends, respected judges, and attendees. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Masa Nilata. I'm currently a grade 9 student from practicing middle school, Dover Township in the Ninayo region. Now the topic of representation would be how weather affects our daily life. Our Earth is surrounded by a layer of air called atmosphere. Sometimes the air gets cold and sometimes the air gets hot. The change in air is often known as weather. Weather is the atmosphere and short-term changes in conditions of heat, moisture, and air movements. Weather affects a lot for people of all businesses and also their moods and feelings for all days. A kind of weather of the day. They affect the feelings, moods, and moods. That's why. Weather is one of the most essential procedures that shapes the earth. Weather is very much essential for the earth to grow and adapt according to the age of time. It is such a miracle how weather can turn the enormous rocks into small things like dust and sand. Weather can be any types, and they're often said like fine, they're foggy, and also windy, sunny, and rainy, and a lot more weather kinds. Weather is all around us all the time. We can see it, we can feel it, sometimes hear it in our everyday life. Think about all the things that weather does each day. Maybe you are planning on going somewhere on a specific day and the weather is perfect for that. That's a great thing. Also, if the weather isn't that good for a planned activity, well, that's really upsetting. So what that means, weather stays in such an important role for our daily activities too, not only outdoors but also indoors. Well, as we all know that we won't do such kinds of activities outdoors if the weather isn't that good. So I think it really affects on the people's daily life and their daily activity that they plan on going. And to know what kinds of weather we're going to have on the next day, so people can prevent from if they should go out or not. The people from the weather station, they predict them by the indicated signs. And those meteorologists from there, they send up the weather satellites and weather blaze into the sky, so they can get the information in advance and share to us citizens. And among all the weather kinds, if I have to say my favorite, I think my favorite one would be the drizzly rain, because I feel like on those kinds of days, you can just easily chill on your bed with maybe snacks around while the rain is pretty belly outside. I feel like these kinds of weather are the most suitable for the relaxation and resting. And as we all know that, weather is very much essential for the planet and all living things like us humans and animals and all the trees and plants too. That's why we should always take care of the planet, because if the weather is bad, it will give no good to us later. So we should always be cautious of what we do to the planet. And as you know that weather stays in such a major role for our daily activities too. And also, weather stays in such an important role for our physical movement, and not only mentally. Because like on the heated days, we feel like lack of hydration. Also we'll be like totally burned out easily on the heated days, and we'll feel like freezing and don't really feel like coming out from bed or something on the freezing day. So depends on how we feel. The activities we do are based on it too. Of course, we won't do such energetic activities on the days that will make you feel like burnt out. Who would do that, of course? And so that's why, as I said, weather stays in such a major role for our physical movements too, not only mentally. So I feel like weather is very much essential for all the farmers in every country too. As we know that, as we've been learning about all the farms and stuff, the best weather, only if they get the best weather for their farming things, is really good for them. Because if the weather is bad in their environment or something, it can not, their stuff and things, especially the things for the country like rice or stuff, they won't be just expressed that easily, because if the weather is bad, it would give not that much good either. So in conclusion, as we know that weather is very much important for the planet and all living things. We should always be cautious of what we do to the planet, and well, we can even help the world to become a more better place. Or like, as we all know that the global is warming right now, and it is really part of the weather too. So yeah, I think like these are the things that weather affects on us. Well, it has brought me to the end of my presentation. I'm so thankful to all of you guys for paying attention for the full time. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.
Does the weather affect the way you study your lessons? Why or why not?
Well, I think it depends on the room I choose. Well, sometimes I'm mostly studying in my room, so if the weather, and sometimes on the days that the weather is so bad, like in the storms and the thunderstorms, so it can really affect on my studying. Because like I can really concentrate on those kinds of days. But I don't think it does much affect on us. But just if you just choose a room that is like quiet and stuff, I think the weather doesn't really affect on us. Yeah, affects on our studies.
So, do you like longer days or longer nights? Why?
Well, I actually prefer the longer nights more because I'm a night person. Like I stay pretty late, I stay late at night, and also I'm a night owl. So and I feel like on those kinds of longer nights, but as we know that at night the weather is kind of cold and chilly. So I think in those kinds of times and hours, we can just chill in our bed with a movie, snacks around. So well, that's the reason that make me like the longer nights more, because I can just relax and rest by watching some movies on those kinds of days. But the main reason is that I love having a comforting time for myself on longer nights.
So you like the weather in Ecuador?
Well, as I'm from the Grade-9 region, but I happen to stay in Ecuador for a few months. So for the weather in Ecuador, it's actually so the weather is just fine, like the morning, but at night it's totally cold. I mean, it's not that cold, but still it can make Ecuador who comes from the other states and regions to be cold. So if I have to say if I like the weather in Ecuador or not, I think it's just like the perfect weather, because like in the morning it's the best. If the weather is cold or like too heating, it wouldn't be good. So and as I said, Ecuador has such cold kinds of atmosphere at night. And at night, most people prefer themselves and have some relaxation and resting. That's why I truly love the Ecuador weather a lot. Thank you.